Hello, y'all. Today is D. We're working on the D dishes today. D for dishes, D for desserts, D for dips, D for you name it. But we can't do all of those. I just did cookies and all and yesterday, and so I cannot do any more sweets right now. So I'm going to be working on Dauphinoise potatoes. That's a French word. I had to look up how to pronounce it. I think I did it right. Dauphinoise. So there you go. Something new. Basically, it's au gratin potatoes. It's just that you're going to cook them first in a cream. You're just going to boil them in cream first so that they're more tender before you put them in your baking dish. How many of you have cooked au gratin potatoes and the cheese gets all ready and it looks like they're good, and you stick a fork in it and it's still very hard in the center where the potatoes have not gotten done? And it's so frustrating when you're trying to get a dish ready and it's just not done in the middle. So hopefully this will solve the problem. The French knew what they were doing when they created all these great cooking dishes. So let me show you what I've done. I've already grated up some cheese. Now, I did not have Gruyere, any of the Gruyere cheese, so I had to use Havarti, which is, it should do well in this recipe. And then we're going to use sliced potatoes, and it called for cream and it called for whole milk, so half and half is basically the same thing. So I'm going to be cooking it in the half and half. So let me turn this around here and let me show you what I've been doing. I've been using my Pampered Chef slicer to slice these potatoes super thin. Look how thin that is, like super thin. And it does it so quickly. I'm gonna turn this where you can kind of see what I'm doing here, and yet I can still see too. So I think my arm may be in the way. I'll try to do it like this. So, all right, you ready? Here we go. You can see how thin and how quickly this thing slices these potatoes. I mean, that's just pretty awesome to me. So now I'm going to put all these potatoes over here in this pot and then add the half and half and some other ingredients. Let me get those dumped in there and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my potatoes here in the pot. Now I'm going to add in a teaspoon of kosher salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, you could use white pepper if you wanted it just all stay pretty and white, a half of a teaspoon of nutmeg, and 3 cloves of garlic, which is equal to about 3 of these teaspoons of this minced garlic that I have. You can mince your own, and it's 3 cloves. That's what you need. So now I'm going to bring that to a boil and let it simmer for about, 7 minutes or so until those potatoes start getting a little bit tender. We want them sort of semi-tender, and then I'll get right back with you. Okay, I'm back. I wanted to show y'all, I forgot to tell you that I also put in 2 bay leaves, so I'm going to take those out now. So they cooked in with it. I wound up cooking this for 11 minutes before the potatoes got where I could easily slide a fork into them like this. So I don't want them like falling apart, but also wanted to make sure that they were tender enough that a fork could go into them. So now I've got let me back you up so you can see what I'm doing here. I've got a Pyrex dish, and I'm going to spray it with some spray just so to avoid a little bit of sticking at the bottom. Could do a pat of butter, but I find the cooking spray does better for me. So now I'm just going to take my slotted spoon here and dip some of these potatoes out. Put about half of them over into the baking dish. Like this. A few more. All right. And now I'm going to cover those with the cheese. Half of the cheese. I'm just going to sprinkle half the cheese all over the top of this. Spread it out. Like that. And now put the rest of the potatoes on top of that. These look so creamy. This liquid thickened up too. Here we go. It's about enough, all of them. There's just some hiding down in there. You have to find them. Hard to see white potatoes in a white sauce. Just sticking all on the side of the pan as well. I think that's all of them. And now I'm going to spread those out a little bit. So it's pretty even. And now I'm going to pour the rest of this sauce, or well, not all of it, but some enough to cover the potatoes, or just come to the top of them. See how that looks. You don't want it too soupy. But yeah, I think that's probably just about enough right there. You just want it to come up to the bottom of the top of the potatoes. Like that. And now then, put the rest of the cheese on top of all this. And this will go in a 350-degree oven for about 40 minutes till it's nice. The cheese is all bubbly and it's evenly spread this around. So the cheese is nice and bubbly and the potatoes are all the way totally done. So it's a pretty simple dish. Let me wipe off that right there. I don't want that to burn on my pan. Let's see, I'll just use my cloth here. There. All right, so I'm gonna put this right in the oven and you can see how pretty it looks up close. It'll look even better when I bring it out of the oven. I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, I'm back. The potatoes are almost ready to come out of the oven. I'm going to make a dip now. So, you know, we have how do I say it again? The Dauphinoise potatoes. And now we're going to have a dip. It's the comeback dip or sauce. Some people call it sauce. I'm calling it a dip because we're doing D's today. But I'm going to make some homemade comeback. And anyhow, I'll get all the ingredients together for that and get back with you. Just a minute. I got to get this out of the oven. It's about to beep in just a few seconds, and then I'll get right back with you. Okay, I got the potatoes out of the oven and they're over there on the stove, just sitting over here on the stove top cooling off. I'm going to start by putting a cup of mayonnaise in this bowl. And we're having some seafood with our dinner, so this will be good with seafood. It's also, I think, good with chicken. Now I'm putting a little bit of chili sauce. This is actually the sweet red chili sauce that's like the Thai chili sauce. then I'm going to put a tablespoon of lemon juice. I think that's about all that's left in this bottle. Oh, a little bit left. And I'm going to add two tablespoons of ketchup. And then I'm going to add some dry powdered stuff. I've got smoked paprika here. I'm going to put a teaspoon of smoked paprika in here. And a mustard, I've got a half of a teaspoon of dry mustard. Let me do it this way. All right. And got onion powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder. And then garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. So pretty much a half a teaspoon of everything there. And now we're going to do the salt, half a teaspoon of salt, and a fourth of a teaspoon of pepper. So I'm just going to put half of that on there. And then we've got 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire. And hot sauce, I'm going to just put a teaspoon of this hot sauce. This is sriracha hot sauce, so it's going to be pretty hot. Well, let's see, it said teaspoon. I hope I can handle this. I usually can't handle hot stuff too much, so that's good enough. All right, so now I just need to stir all of this together. So it sounds like it's going to be a little bit sweet and a little bit hot, which should work out pretty good with seafood. Smells good. Alrighty. And I think I'm going to try this on a little cracker. So hold on a minute, let me get some crackers and I'll let you know how it is. All right, I'm back. I've got a cracker here. So I'm gonna put some on the cracker. That's pretty good. I think I like it. Have to get used to it. I may want to change it, add some other ingredients to it, but it's not bad. All right, let me show you the, these are the potatoes. Don't they look great? And see how it's soaking up the juice already? So I think they're going to be super. So we'll try those in just a little bit with dinner. Back to you in a minute. Okay, while we're finishing up the rest of our dinner, I thought I'd go ahead and take a taste of these potatoes and let you know how they are. They're so creamy. Delicious. Try that recipe. I want you to know on that dipping sauce, comeback sauce, I wasn't satisfied with it, so I went back and added a little bit more hot sauce. I added a little bit more ketchup, and I added a little honey, and now it tastes pretty good. So y'all please subscribe. I'm only like 10 people away from hitting 1,200 subscribers on YouTube. I sure would appreciate it if you'd subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.